Okay, so we've got our two box plots, yeah? The reason why I'm going to record now is because this lesson, we're going to focus on comparing the box plots. So what can we say about these two box plots, guys? What's different? What's the same, maybe? What can you conclude from them? Give me something. I might ask, let's see. Tina, okay, give me something that's different between both of them.
So in dot plot,
Which one, blue or green? Tell me.
blue,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have an outlier, but whereas green was
Good. Okay, so you'd mentioned that. Yeah, good. So mention what the outlier is, if there is one. That's one difference. Okay. What about, let's see. Gabby, can you tell me anything else that you notice about them?
blue has a higher median,
Good. Okay. Of, what would the median be for blue?
25.
Good. And for blue, green, you've got 20. Good. So mention what that might be. Yeah, make sure you understand that. What do they both have in common? There's one thing they both have in common. Yes, Ruby. Good. Okay, so the Q1 and the Q2s, they're similar. So the median in green is the same as the Q1 for blue. There's actually one more thing I noticed that they both have in common. Anyone see it? Yeah, both have whiskers end at 32. There's one more thing though. I'm not talking so much about that. What about the shape? Tell me the shape for both of them. Yes. Yes, so they both start low and then they go high, okay, which is negatively skewed. So you start low, then it peaks somewhere towards the end, okay? So that means they both have a similar shape. So what I talked about literally, oh, and one more thing, what about the ranges? Okay, look at the range. Are they different? Are they the same? Well, make sure you understand IQR and the range as well. So IQR, remember, is the middle 50%. So it's going to be the Q3 and the Q1. Remember that for the IQR, Q3 minus Q1, and then this one will have these Q1s. And you need to minus them. So for example, the IQR for the green would be, what's that? 24 take away 15, which is 9. So that has an IQR of 9. And the IQR for this guy, the blue, is going to be 27 take away 20. So which one has a higher IQR, guys? Green has a higher IQR. Yeah, it's got 9 as an IQR. So what I talked about is basically what you need to mention when you're talking about similarities and differences with your box plots. And another word for that is comparing. Okay, you need to be able to compare two box plots. Okay, there's going to be questions in your SAC where you're going to have two box plots and you got to compare what's different, what's the same. Normally, you're just talking about 4 things. Okay, can I scroll ahead? Or we're still copying? All right, I'll wait. So there's 4 things, yeah? You've got your shape, which is the positively and negatively skewed. You've got the center, which I think Gabby mentioned, which is the middle, the median. Shape, center, spread, which is the IQR. So these guys here. And then you've got outliers, which Tina mentioned. So you've got to mention if there's any outliers for both. So those are 4 things you've got to mention when you're comparing your box plots. Shape, center, spread, outliers. 4 things. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Okay, shape, center, spread, outliers. 4 things you've got to make sure you talk about. Always, yeah? Don't leave out any of them. And one of the main things you have to do is you have to actually mention the numbers. So you can't just say, oh, green box plot has a bigger IQR than blue box plot. You have to tell me what the IQR is. Or don't just say green has a lower median than blue. Okay, make sure you tell me the actual medians. Okay, so let's actually look at these examples. So let's go to this page on our notes, comparing data using your box plots. So here you've got 2 quizzes that a class has done, quiz 1, quiz 2, and these are the results. So I can see, Jamie, what do you see about these 2 box plots that's interesting, or what could you comment on? Yeah, so it has lower score, so you can mention has a lower median in quiz 2, okay? However, quiz 1 has a outlier. Someone scored 100% of it. And you can also talk about the IQR, so Q3 minus Q1 could be different there. And the shapes, okay, they're not necessarily the same. If you look at the shape for quiz 1, it looks positively skewed. What was the shape for if it looks like a regular mountain? Starting with A. Approximately symmetrical. You don't really say symmetrical because that implies they're exactly the same on both sides. It's just approximately symmetrical. So those are 4 things we're going to talk about. Now, let's go to this page and we're going to write down all of that as a summary in here. And then we're going to report on it. Okay, there's going to be a lot of writing for this part of data, so make sure you're paying attention. Now, quiz 1. The shape for quiz 1 is approximately symmetrical. So let's put that in. Okay, start with that. Approximately symmetrical. Sorry for the bad writing. Quiz 2. Okay, what shape do we have for quiz 2? It starts high, then it goes down, so it's positively skewed. Okay, positively skewed. Okay, let's go back to quiz 1. What's the median? 67, 25 for quiz 1. Actually, I have looked at this backwards. I'm so sorry. Quiz 1's on the bottom. Oh, gosh. And quiz 2, you know what? Let's just do this. Just swap them around. So sorry. Okay, just watch out for that when you do this. All right. Quiz 2 has a median of 67. Okay. And then quiz 1 has a median of 25. Okay. Spread or the IQR and the range. So remember range, maximum minus minimum. IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So let's look at Q2. For Q2, the IQR is going to be 83, take away 50, which is 23. And in the range is going to be 90, take away 40, which is 50. Okay, so the IQR, the spread is 50. And then the range is 23. Oh, sorry, is it 33? Oh, sorry, yeah. Am I looking at the wrong one? Oh, no, this is for range. So the range is maximum minus minimum. 90 minus 50 for the range. IQR is, my bad, 33. Q3 minus Q1. Thank you for that. Okay, so that's what we need to figure out for both of them. Now for the quiz number 1, the IQR is going to be 50, take away 15, which equals 35. And then the range is going to be 100, because that's the maximum, take away 10, which equals 90. Okay, so you've got 90 for the range, and then 35 for the IQR. I'll make a note of that here so you guys know. So this is the range, and this is the IQRs for both of them. And then outliers, I can see in quiz 2, there's no outliers. So if I won't get rid of that. But quiz 2, there's none. But in quiz 1, there's an outlier of 100. Okay, so that's what we need to put in our table. In the SAC, you're going to have this table that you need to fill out. Yes, Ruby. Say yes, because in the range, you still have to include maximum, minimum. Outliers still count as maximums and minimums. Okay, they're still part of the data. Okay, now this is the annoying part. This is where you need to write. So I'm going to bring in some numeracy, literacy here. So you need to write your answer this way. All right, so what you would talk about is the 4 things that you've got here: shape, center, spread, IQR, and then outliers. So let's start with the shape. So you literally just go the shape for, and we'll just go quiz 1 is positively skewed, and the shape for quiz 2 is, and then you just literally just write approximately symmetrical. Okay, that's the first thing you compare, the shape. Okay, second thing we compare is, let's talk about the center or the median. So you'd say the center for quiz 1. Now, this might seem tedious, but in your SACs, in your 11, this literally counts for 4 marks, just reporting. I know it's annoying to have to write all of this, but again, make sure that you have it. Okay, the center for quiz 1 is 25, and for the center for quiz 2 is 67. Okay, so that's the center or the median. And now we talk about the spread and IQR, or the IQR in the range. So you could say range and IQR for quiz 1 is, and you literally state it, 50 and 33. Or you could literally write the range for Q1, IQR is 50, and its range, IQR is 33. Okay, you could state it that way, but as long as you're stating all of this. Okay? And then you'd write, and the range and IQR for quiz 2 is, and you literally write not 90, sorry, 50, no, yeah, 90 and 30. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting these confused. Quiz 1 was 90 and 35. And then quiz 2 was 50 and 33. Yeah, don't get them confused. It does get confusing sometimes. All right, and the last thing we report on is the outliers. Yeah, sorry, quiz 1 is the bottom one. Quiz 2 is the top one. All right, and then the last one is the outliers. So there are no outliers in quiz 2. So it doesn't matter what order, actually, at the end of the day. But quiz 1 has an outlier of 100. Okay, and that'll suffice for the report. You need to write those 4 things. So you talk about the shape, you talk about the center, the range, and IQI, and then also if there's any outliers. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily matter what order you do it in, or even what order you write them in. So you can write quiz 1 first if you want, or quiz 2 first. What matters for the assessors is you actually state what's the difference or what's the same, and what the numbers are. Okay, so I'm going to underline that. You've got to make sure you put the numbers in. So for example, the numbers in the medians, okay, make sure you state them. Or the numbers for the range, okay, make sure you state them as well. Or if there's any outliers. Don't just say there is an outlier. Okay, tell me what the actual outlier is. Really, really important when you do these reports. Now, if you look at the next few pages, it sort of shows you how to fill in the box, but that's not that hard to fill in, right? It's pretty easy, all right? And there's a template that you can use. Okay, you don't have to use what I gave you if you don't want to. You can use these templates. It's the same thing. I've just maybe worded it a bit differently. The wording isn't too important. What's important is you've actually put in the correct numbers, and that you're comparing the right thing. Yep. Okay, so can you see it if I zoom out a bit? because in the template in the next slide, the wording is a bit different. You don't have to use it, but if you want to, you can. I think actually I would suggest if you do get lost, maybe use the template that we have there. Okay. Come on, Jamie, why'd you sleep? Well, you should have copied it. Everyone was writing. Okay, okay. That's fine with me. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to this part here. So like I said, it's basically the same thing. Okay, it's just slightly different in terms of the wording. Here they've talked about the shape and then it included outliers in there. Okay, and then it's got the median and then the IQR. It also has this in conclusion bit. Normally, I don't think you have to include it in year 11, but if it's there, then you might as well use it. Okay, so here it says in conclusion, data 2, whatever it is, has a higher, similar, or lower median. So you talk about its median. More variable, similar, or less variable, depending on the IQR. And then you talk about more variable and similar or less variable compared to data 1. All right. This does get a bit confusing, but you don't necessarily have to have an ending statement. What they really look for is this. Okay, they really want you to you got to make sure you know how to compare. All right, let's actually go and complete some of this here. All right, we've got 2 data sets. We've got that. We're going to fill in the blanks here. Okay. So here, 2 data sets. Group A, Group B. The box plots are in the bottom. That's okay. We need to make sure we've got a comparison of both of them. Okay, this is talking about how many hours of paid work they did each week. Okay, and these are the results. So I can see a couple of things I could talk about already, but you need to make sure you understand the context as how many hours of paid work they did. All right, so here is the summary there already. So it's already done for us. I think it's already done there for us. So let's fill the data in here. Okay, let's put the data in here. So the distribution of, and I could say group A. Again, you don't have to actually use this format. You can use whatever I've given you. Okay, and we talk about the distribution, which is the same as the shape. I would actually just say the shape of group A is, so what's the shape? Approximately symmetrical. Okay, without outliers, and the distribution of group B is negatively skewed. Okay, so that's the shape. That's the first part. The median of, so now let's do group A. Group A, so the median of group A is 15. And the median of group B is 17. Okay, again, make sure that you state the actual values. Don't just tell me what it is. The IQR, so now we're talking about the IQR of, let's say, group. Oops. So the IQR of group A is 8, and the IQR of. So notice how the way they've done the sentences here are a bit different, but it's more or less giving you the same information anyway. So the IQR of group B is 3. The range of group A, I can see, is 24. And the range of group B is 10. Okay, so let's talk about the conclusion bit. Again, you don't have to necessarily do it, but if you were to, you could use this. So in conclusion, group A, let's start with that, has A. Okay, so do they have a higher or lower median than group B? Lower. Lower median. Okay, what about the IQR? Higher IQR. Okay, because if you have a look in group A, IQR is 8 and group 3 is B. So higher And the range is also higher in group A, okay, compared to group B. It doesn't matter, to be honest. It's the same thing. Compared as group, and then you'd write in the end group B. Okay, so again, this final bit, just make sure if you want to, if it does ask you on a sec to come up with an ending statement, you can use this. But in the previous ones that I did, okay, you can actually just talk about it like that. That's fine as well. Okay, you can use either one basically. Okay, does that all make sense? Just use the template if you get lost. Easy. Easy peasy.